Thank you, Mark, and welcome everyone. I just want to take a minute to kind of angle my camera here because I want you to see, I may have to stand up. I want you to see that I've got all of this. I'm bejeweled today, and I'm in purple. And I made this choice because this week we read Parashat Tetzaveh, and in the Torah portion, we learn about the making of the Choshen Mishpat, the breastplate of decision, which the high priest wears all of the time, so that in making decisions, the high priest is aware of the entire community. And the robes were a lot of colors, but kind of had a purple appearance. And there are all kinds of stones, which we're going to look at in depth. And so I'm wearing my honorary, not Choshen Mishpat, but bringing in the energy to acknowledge the wisdom of our tradition. So before I do a screen share, I'd like to say that last week our Torah portion was Truma, and in it we read the very well-known verse, Ve'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham, and make for me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. And we understand that really b'tocham as dwell within them. And so today, as I share with you a little bit about this breastplate of decision, we'll go into a few different parts in our meditation. One is for ourselves, and another is for qualities we may like to bring into ourselves. And the third is to hold the entire world community. So here comes a screen share. And I'd just like to first make sure that everybody can see this. So if you give me some hands that you can see this and it's big enough, okay. So this is an image of what the Choshen Mishpat might look like if you put it on a necklace pendant. There are 12 stones for the 12 tribes. And in the first row, we have 3 stones, as we do in each of the other rows. And depending on which translation of the Torah you look at, the names for these stones translated into English are different. So I did a combination of translations as I put this together. The first row, Odem, Pitdah, Uvareket, Hator Ha'echad. The first row, carnelian, chrysolite, emerald. V'hator hasheni, nofech, sapir, Vaya Halom. The second, turquoise, sapphire, diamond. The third row, Leshem, Shavo, Va'achlama. Jacinth, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, agate, and amethyst. And finally, the fourth row, Tarshish, Vishoham, Vayashva, beryl, lapis lazuli, and jasper. Now, the first thing that we might think about is just not just the beauty of these stones, but the richness and how important it was to bring the most precious gems, rocks, into this breastplate as a way of bringing this sense of connection and commitment to the tribe's home, to the high priest. And I did a little bit of research about the meanings of some of these stones, particularly with respect to our tradition. So this is taken from Chabad.org, and I thank you, Chabad. So Chabad connects each of these stones to an individual or a tribe, and it's one of the qualities of that tribe. But I just pulled out some very simple words. Carnelian, teshuvah. Chrysolite, and I'm going to put my little arrow here, loyalty. Emerald, looks a little more blue than green to me, light. Turquoise, leadership. Actually, this is not really helpful color-wise with this picture, so I hope I'm not going to do that. Turquoise, leadership. Sapphire, study, Torah study. Diamond, abundance. Jacinth, joyful after we've experienced harsh judgment. Agate, swiftness and the lightness of joy. Amethyst, strength over negative influences. Beryl, prosperity, gratitude, blessing. Lapis lazuli, to overcome sadness and rejuvenate the spirit. And finally, jasper, the sanctuary itself, divine light. So before we begin our sit, what I'd like to do is just give a moment for you to look at these stones and look at their meanings and see which of these jumps to you as something that you would like to bring in more fully. It may be more than one. So take a moment. Teshuvah, loyalty, strength over negative influences, overcoming sadness, to fulfill our inner sanctuary. And I'll make them just a little bigger once again, so you can get a really nice close look at these. Okay. So I invite us to find our seat, whether that seat is on a chair, a cushion, reclining, lying down. Find the center of gravity that grounds you to the chair or the cushion or the ground. Allow your energy to sink down, down through the base of the pelvic bowl. Feeling that connection with the earth. Allow that to flow into your legs and down into your feet. And if your feet are flat on the floor or angled on the floor, feel that rootedness there too. Feel the riches of the earth, the amethyst and carnelian, the sapphire and turquoise, the emerald. Feel that richness under your feet and under your hips. Literally glowing up into you. If breath is a comfortable anchor for you, bring your awareness there. Allowing your diaphragm to expand and release on the in-breath and the out-breath. Feeling your chest rise and fall. your back expand and soften. If you prefer, bring your awareness to the center of your chest where your heart is, perhaps placing a hand here for centering. You might envision green, perhaps the green of the emerald, chrysoprase, or the green of trees and leaves, particularly in this wintry time, nourishing you. So let's first look at our own mikdash. Where do you need light shined in? Is it your left shoulder? Is it your belly? Is your back stiff? How are your knees? Are you holding tension in your jaw? How are your fingers? We'll take a few minutes to do an internal check. Bringing each of our body parts together to form our sanctuary. Holding all of those beautiful stones and qualities in the breastplate of decision. We'll take a few minutes of quiet and then we'll come back. If it's helpful, you might imagine having one of those stones in your hand or the color and rubbing it on that spot that needs love, that needs connection. Begin to feel the whole sacredness of you, of your self as sanctuary. And now I'm going to invite a choice. One option is to stay here, nourishing yourself, fortifying the sanctuary of you with all of your beautiful colors and qualities. Another choice is to begin to radiate these colors with the acknowledgement that we wear them in our bodies, on our hearts. And we shine them out to people we know, to people we don't know. We include people from every ethnicity, every faith. We welcome every gender and sexual orientation and identity. We hold ourselves to people in this country as a light shining, and to those around the world. To those we easily love, and to those we don't easily love. To those whose political agendas match ours, and to those who don't. We shine out as a light. To those in Israel, in Gaza, in the West Bank, with whom we agree and or disagree. To refugees, immigrants, indigenous peoples. We recognize that our breastplate of decision includes everyone. So we'll take some time here centering that power in ourselves. and sending out that message of oneness. That message of the whole, echad. And we'll take some quiet time. As we prepare to close this time, I invite you to recall that you can connect to this sanctuary at any time to nourish and strengthen yourself. And when you feel that strength, to shine it out, to shine it out. Blessings.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Robin Damsky,
Welcome.
guiding us so beautifully again today. And friends, let's seal that practice. For those of you who are in mourning or observing a yard site at this time, or if it's your custom to join in the mourner's Kaddish, you're invited to do so by reciting the Kaddish. If you're not reciting Kaddish, as always, we hope you'll stay present for those who are to support them. And if you're joining me, please rise in body or in spirit, and you can unmute at this time. Friends, thanks so much for joining us today. And if you're leaving us now, putting in the chat the names of those who will be leading us tomorrow. Allison Cohen will be leading us tomorrow, and Friday, Rabbi Benjamin Ross will lead us to sit together into Shabbat. Two wonderful teachers, so we look forward to those. If you can join us at either or both, we hope to see you then. You can also just continue to sit here and turn off the sound on your computer and use the support of Rabbi Robin's guidance today, and this community to support you in your practice, or join us for conversation about the teaching and share reflections on the practice, which, of course, you're always welcome to do in the chat. If you have a question, please write question all in caps, and I'll try to keep an eye out for your question and work it into the conversation. Thanks so much, Robin. I don't think, I said, at the outset, and as you well know, we've been doing it now for almost 6 years, which is
Can't even believe it.
that's really quite
In
hard to
my head, it's
believe.
like 5. Even that felt like too much.
But I don't know. I know. I know. Here we go. We just keep going. But I don't remember if we ever did one that focused or was grounded in the Choshen HaMishpat, that priest breastplate. So I
Yeah.
was really appreciating it. And a couple of things. Number one, you invited us to sort of imagine these gems representing different qualities as embedded within us, which I really liked.
Mm.
I almost felt like it was like almost like a spa-like experience to feel I wasn't lying down, but I could imagine lying down and just allowing that breastplate to
Mm.
weigh on my chest. Um, and it was extremely soothing, to think
Mm.
about all the different qualities embedded in those stones. So I really, really appreciated that. And of course, it was just kind of an alternative to what we often think about is the overlay of the Sphirot, the Kabbalistic tree of life, in our bodies, and
Right,
we all,
right,
we often
right.
we often refer to that, but this is just a different, just a different framework, I guess,
Yeah.
for different qualities. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit about, we often talk about the flow of the Sphirot, and I know
Yeah.
you talk about how they line up with different chakras. I don't know what comes up for you with these qualities in the breastplate.
So it's fascinating. And I thought about the Sphirot just a little bit. And then I thought, oh, golly, that would really complicate things. It's like there's only so much data
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
can take in at once.
Yes, yeah.
And it occurred to me that an interesting inquiry would be to see if there's any connection in the evolution of the Sphirot and their colors to some of these stones in the breastplate. It's interesting. I was drawn to the breastplate a few weeks ago because my friend and colleague Matt Soffer's son became bar mitzvah, and I gave him a gift of an amethyst, and that started my inquiry into the Choshen Mishpat. I never really thought about it a whole lot, but I thought, no, this is on there, and so I began to look and look and look, and all of these stones are used. We use these stones in my mindfulness practice for highly sensitive slash neurodivergent slash people who are overwhelmed with current events course as exactly what you just said. I just happen to have, for example, a green aventurine here, which is a heart chakra stone, and a rose quartz, and they could actually be put light on the heart or held to the heart in meditation. There's just these wonderful energies that we feel when we look at some stones, and there's according to so many traditions, there's meanings in each of these stones. And
Let's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I
Finish this.
initially I initially was going to look at the meanings in general, but then I thought I'm really interested to see what our tradition says about the meanings of these stones, and that's what I decided to go with. So yeah, but one last thing is that breastplate, the pictures of it, it looks like it really weighs a lot. So we can play with it in something that we can adjust in a size that does feel, calming and healing and not too much weight, right? We don't want to be carrying more weight than we can manage
Yeah. I guess
emotionally,
I guess
physically,
I'm
whatever.
sorry I interrupted you. You just said something that I thought was worth um, dwelling on for a little bit, which
Sure.
is we're talking about energies.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of this being a spiritual practice, about meditation being, a spiritual practice, and having a moment of our practice being about growing in awareness of our connection to something greater than ourselves. That it helps, I think, for people, especially when we struggle with theology, especially theologies we grew up with, or what we think of as, traditional
Right.
theologies.
Right.
And it's helpful to think about God slash the divine slash the sacred in terms of energy
Mhm.
that we can experience, that we experience in breath and in our
Sure,
bodies, etc.
sure, sure.
So I wanted to invite you to talk a little bit about that, and maybe that's a good segue also into, I know you're doing this class on, who or what is God.
Yeah,
So, in other words, this is a practice of connecting with the divine or with God
right.
through awareness of different kinds of energy that are present within us and
Yeah.
around us.
And I think, sometimes some obvious examples are the way we feel when we're by the water
Hmm.
and how it calms us and how it may revitalize us.
Hmm.
When we're out in the sun, if we're not out too long, right, it warms us and it might just soften what we're holding on to and literally warm our souls. So these are just two energies that most, I would say probably most of us, if not all of us, are familiar with. And we don't necessarily always think about them as divine, and we
Hmm.
can. I'm bringing in the light of the sun, which is regenerative, or
Hmm.
I'm bringing in the calm of the water, which enables me to let go. So those are two examples just in the natural world. But like think about teshuva. Teshuva is energy. When we really do that return or that repair, our whole body shifts.
Hmm.
It opens. And when we're in the process of it, if I say, "Oh, I need to do teshuva about this with myself or about this with somebody else," where is that in my body? Am I choked up? Am I tense in my heart? Am I angry in my belly? So these are energies that when we invite in the presence of mindfulness practice, everything begins to release and open. And we have access to divinity. The way I understand it is we have access to divinity more clearly, with maybe we could say less interference, right? You know, that we sit and we have access. And if we can, oh, if I can let go of that thing I'm holding in my left shoulder, oh, now I feel that I have less disturbance for me to be able to really receive that divine energy. Does that kind of get to what
Yeah,
you were?
yeah, totally, totally. Do you want to say a little bit about this, what that course,
Yeah.
program that
So,
you're offering?
so I'm doing a bunch of things. One of them is a course that begins tomorrow night. It's hybrid, so it's live in Durham at Judea Reformed Congregation, and it's also online. It's called "Who or What is God, and What Does It Matter Anyway?" And the whole purpose is for us to find ways to connect with the divine when we may have ideas that may limit us or hold us to a particular understanding of what God is. We immediately move to a word like source or Ein Sof without end. All of a sudden, our ability to make that connection with divine energy mutates a little bit, changes, maybe opens up. So we're going to be looking at all of just lots and lots of different names for the Holy One and how we relate to them and really like tease in and delve into our own understanding of what our relationship, what the sacred is and our relationship to that. So I'm hoping that people really have the opportunity to unfold spiritually.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Now, I know also that you've done, hard to believe, but also wonderful to know that Pesach is amazingly just like 5 weeks away. So,
Impossible.
uh, I'm sure your local supermarket has a potato pancake mix or something, ready for it.
Right. I'm sure you're
Where,
right.
we're like honey and apples. But so I know you have been working on this Seder supplement
Yeah.
called Ferocious Love, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So ferocious love was something that I put
Great
together.
phrase, by the way. Great phrase.
Thank
Ferocious
you.
Love.
I put this together last year, and I'm in the process of, I'm putting some links in the chat here. Um, so it says your Omer journey. That's not right. It's ferocious love. but the link that's there is not it's not live yet. So what I'm actually going to do is put in a link to my contact. And if you're interested in the supplement, you can fill it out in the contact and just tell me what you're interested in. So I put this together because of all of the pain that so many of us were in last year, in the second year since October 7th, and the shift in our country since the election the prior November. And I'm updating it because so much has changed and we're in so much dire, so many of us are feeling we're in such a dire place right now. So this supplement will be out probably around the 1st of March, maybe the first week of March. And if you contact me and tell me you're interested in it, when the link is live, I'll get in touch with you. And it can be purchased as a download. It can also be purchased as a published copy. The prices are a little different. So I'm really excited about putting that together. And actually, I'm also honored to say that one of our esteemed teachers, Malila Helner Eshed, we're putting in a page on her work with Soulful, which is with Israelis and Palestinians in the West Bank. So um, there's some really beautiful things in there.
Great. That's great. So go back for, let me have a couple more minutes. I just want to go back to the Choshana Mishpat, and
Yes.
there's some beautiful reflections in the chat that I want to
Mm,
point people to. I think what's striking to me a little bit, since we keep talking about these are stones, but they're really gems. When you look at them, and maybe I'm going to screen share here for a sec, so
sure.
we can look at them again here together. Is that one of the things that I think is very striking about it is that they are kind of translucent. That is, they're not
Yes.
opaque, right?
That's
So
right.
there's
That's
something
right.
about a shining that allows for the
Right.
passage of light in and out. You
Yes.
want to
Yes.
comment on that?
Yeah, and actually, it reminds me of something that you said in one of my sits during the Omer a couple of years ago, where you said that every sphera holds within it every other.
Hmm.
And if we shine a crystal like the ones that I shared aren't as translucent, but this one is somewhat translucent. This is also rose quartz. These stones, if we pick them up and the light shines on
Hmm.
them, we see all kinds of colors coming out of them. So even if the base stone is blue or purple or clear, all these colors emerge from it. And so light comes in and light goes out and light is reflected. And I think that the beauty of that is that we can bring this into ourselves, right? As I talked about with our practice. And once we feel that we have enough light inside, we can begin to offer it out. And I think that is significant because if we give when we don't feel the light, we're
Hmm.
we're just so we're depleted, right? We burn out or we get, excuse me, we get resistant or angry. But if we can fill up with the light, then we have what to offer to others.
Yeah. And we just have a couple of minutes left, Robin, but given your work with people who are neurodivergent, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering about, how you were kind of alluded to that working with colors and this kind of visual for
Yeah.
people for whom that's available. How does that work in terms of people who are neurodivergent in your experience,
Well,
in
the
terms
way
of
that
their
I
accessibility?
Right. The way I put the course together is that it works with the senses. So each
Hmm.
chakra, as we mentioned just briefly, each chakra is connected with a color, it's
Hmm.
connected with sound, a particular note, it's
Hmm.
connected with scents, it's connected with foods, and it's connected with taste. Right. Wait, taste, smell, and sense. What I miss one?
Hmm.
Vision, sound. There's a fifth one in there. Whatever that one is that I missed right now.
Touch.
Touch, right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Susan.
so
Thank you,
for
Susan.
thank you, Susan. So what this course is designed to do, and the intention is that each individual can find where they connect most easily.
Hmm.
I'm a touch person, but visual is hard for me. Or I love sound, but things irritate my skin and I don't want to be thinking about touch. So in each approach, we have 5 different ways to say, this is how I can ground in my practice. I can hold the crystal, or I can wear the color of that day, et cetera, et cetera. So there are different, I can eat foods. Like tonight we'll be working with the throat chakra, which is blue. And foods are blueberries and blackberries. I can eat foods that nourish the center. I can say affirmations or kavanot, I prefer, that can stimulate or calm my ability to speak my truth. So for
Mm.
someone who's neurodivergent or on the spectrum or highly sensitive, they may say, ah, that one thing, that's something I can use.
And I think that's something, that's a really helpful approach for all of us, obviously. So
Right.
thank you for offering that,
Yeah.
Robin. And as usual, thank you so much for guiding us
Oh,
beautifully today
such
on
an
our
honor.
practice and this week of Parshat Tetzaveh, which is also Shabbat Zachor, Shabbat before Purim, everyone. So stay tuned for Purim next week, by the way. And thanks to Rachel Huguet, as always, for faithfully holding our space, and each of you for
Rachel.
faithfully showing up. Your dedication is always amazing. Those of you who are joined us on YouTube and elsewhere, glad you're here. And we hope to see you tomorrow to practice with Allison Cohen, everyone. Many
Beautiful.
blessings.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody. Blessings.